You're listening to a special May the 4th episode of D6Pack, recorded on April 15th, 2017. In a galaxy far, far away, we present a special episode of D6Pack, the premier podcast about beer, board games, and the surrounding culture. On this episode, we will venture to the dark side, explore the far reaches of the galaxy, and become one with the Force. I'm Travis Keatley, and here are my fellow Jedis.
I'm David Westfall.
And I'm Todd Marsh.
All right, so on this episode, it's not going to be like one of our normal episodes. We're not necessarily going to do the full beer review. There's not a typical structure. We're just kind of going to talk about Star Wars. But in our traditional fashion, I do want to start the show off with talking about a beer. I was looking for something that was kind of Star Wars themed. Unfortunately, Todd and Travis weren't able to get this with me, but I had a friend recommend a local brewery to me, and unfortunately this probably isn't going to be available for our some of our more widely distributed listeners. This is a brewery in Howell, Michigan, and they don't really distribute outside of Michigan yet, so but they have a lot of different Star Wars beers. My friend recommended me because they have a Star S'mores beer, and I've actually had that one before, and it was delicious. But I went there to get some more of that so that I could talk about it on the podcast today, but they are saving that up for their own May the 4th debut. So I got another beer that they make called Naboo. And this is an oatmeal stout, and I'm going to just kind of try it and see what it's like.
Awesome.
Now, explain to our listeners, Dave, what is the visual effect? What's it look like?
It's a very dark beer, which is kind of traditional for a stout.
Okay.
It doesn't have a lot of head to it. It does have a good aroma. It's kind of nutty smell to it. But
nutty.
I think I missed what you were saying there, Travis. But yes, this looks black like space. Which is,
I see. Okay.
Maybe the connection you were trying to get with Star Wars there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm just drinking water. But it is out of a Star Wars cup, so...
Well, you know what?
As long as you're in the spirit.
You know, and I guess I'll throw this in, guys. I know you were surprised by this. You know, our return listeners will know, if they've been, along on this journey with us since the beginning, that I have not been very adventurous with my beer choice. So I'm a cider guy, but I did find, by chance today, Goose Island, called Goose IPA. It's a fairly hoppy IPA, but for me, the thing that I actually enjoy about it is that the citrus flavor is kind of cut through, and that's what I'm left with in my mouth. I'm not left with that hoppy aftertaste, and I really enjoy that. So I'm sitting here enjoying one of these, and yeah, it's been good.
I'm really surprised that Travis is breaking out of his shell, and hopefully that enhances his...
Expands my palate.
I was going to say something to do with the Force, but I am lost for words right now.
Yeah, okay, that's all right. Maybe later.
All right, so I think we can just jump into talking about some Star Wars stuff. Todd, you want to start us off with?
Well, yeah, I figured we'll start with how each of us kind of started into, liking Star Wars and whatnot, because for me, we were obviously all born in 1990. Travis, you were born in 1990 or 89?
89.
All right, so you were born in 89.
It was almost 90.
Yeah, so basically. So we were all born after the first original trilogy even came out.
Okay.
So they were basically almost considered classic movies by the time we were born. So I didn't watch them when I was young. I mean, the first movie I saw was Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like that movie. I hated Jar Jar Binks so much. And I was 9 when it came out, so I really couldn't follow like the plot, that deep. I was really watching it just for the action, and it didn't stand out to me, and I hated Jar Jar Binks so much. Even the fight at the end with Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn was okay, but it didn't save it for me at that point. So that's kind of where it started. And then a few years later, Attack of the Clones came out, a little older. I saw that one was much better. Yoda was in there kicking ass and all that. So that was better. And I think when Episode 3 came out, that's when I really started to like it. We were in high school at that time. I had seen everything else by then, so I knew what was happening. Anakin is Darth Vader. So this is kind of, I knew by then that's this is his story, how it became Darth Vader, and everything that follows is super cool. So it was probably then that I really became a fan of Star Wars, and I started liking more and more Star Wars things, video games. When a good Star Wars video game came out, I really liked them and all of that. And but yeah, by then I really liked the movies. So how'd you guys kind of start?
I can't say I entirely remember. I know that I don't think I watched them in the order they came out, but I think I closely did.
Right.
I think I saw Episode 1, and I know everybody hates Episode 1, but I enjoyed it enough, probably just because I was 9 and liked the graphics and stuff,
Right.
that it encouraged me to go watch the other 3. So I think I watched Episode 1, and then 4, 5, 6, and then the rest as they came out. So
Right.
For me, like I said, it was Episode 1 that got me to watch them in the first place, but Episode 4, 5, and 6 just sort of cemented it for me. Like, they are the better episodes of the 7 that are out now. So it wasn't hard for me to get into Star Wars, and I think it's a great series. So, what about you, Travis?
I didn't actually, and I'm sure that some of our fans are going to be pretty baffled by this, but I didn't get into the series until really recently. Actually, this past fall and summer, excuse me, when Rogue One was being hyped. It looked like a movie I really wanted to see, and I knew that it was, a story that fit in chronologically, and it was important, but I had no idea where it fell. And so my roommate is a big Star Wars fan, so him and we actually sat down and watched all of the Star Wars movies that have been released up to that point, and I just really, really enjoyed it. I mean, I was able to relate to the characters, with Yoda and Chewbacca and Han and Luke, and it was something I'd heard a lot of people talk about, but I never actually could understand or really relate to what they were saying. So I knew of Star Wars, but I didn't know it. So it's nice to now know who they're talking about and kind of know what the struggles were that they were going through and what the different planets were and things like that, and who the Imperials are and things like that. So it's been it was really fun, and I'm glad that I actually sat down and watched them all back to back, because I think that really helped cement the storyline in my head a little bit better.
Now, when you did that and watched them, was that the first time ever you had seen them, or had you seen like maybe pieces before or like that, but not really, watched it? Maybe had seen something.
I remember bits and pieces. Like, I know I'd probably started to watch it, like, maybe when it was on TV way back in the 2000s. I do remember, like, for some reason, the young Anakin movie, where he's flying the, what are those called?
The speeders.
The speeders, yeah. When he was racing the speeders, for some reason, that's stuck in my memory from way back when. So, yeah, I saw bits and pieces of it, but that's, and I know who C-3PO was and R2-D2,
right.
but
the iconic
The iconic characters, yeah, for sure. But now, now it makes sense.
Now, when you watched them, what order did you watch them in?
The order in which the chronological order.
So 1 through 7?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, no, it wasn't. It was
4, 5,
the order
6?
in which the story is told.
Okay. So
Like
4,
the character's story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 1 through 7 then.
Yeah, 1 through 7.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the first
story.
one that was released was 4.
Yeah.
But the episode
okay. Then yes,
numbered,
yes.
yeah.
That's what I did. Yeah, because I know I didn't start with 1. I started with another number, so 4 would
Right.
make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that was helpful. So that was story order, right?
That was release order.
Release order.
Oh, what's better? Or do you guys think?
There's actually I forget what they call it. There's some sort of order, and they've got a name for it. It's like the switchback order or something like that. But you watch, I think it's episodes 4 and 5, and then you
Okay.
flash back to 2 and 3, and then you go back and watch 6 and 7.
And what is this supposed to do?
What about 1? Where does 1 go?
Yeah, you just
Screw
forget
that.
that one.
I mean, I don't want to watch it, but I would watch it again. Like, it's been so long.
What I've heard is it's actually left out of that order intentionally because the storyline that's involved in episode 1 is either not important or it's explained in more detail later in the series.
Okay.
It's almost like a okay. Okay. That'd be cool.
All right, so can I kind of sidetrack a little bit since this is a special episode here?
Okay, sure.
Pick and explain to me, well, you don't really have to explain too much, but who's your favorite good, not evil character, and who's your favorite evil character from the whole Star Wars galaxy?
Ooh.
Well, let's hold
Let's
the
be a
phone
little.
here.
Okay, let's hold the phone.
Because the whole thought of good and evil,
Okay. Dark and light.
light and dark. Okay,
Yes,
let's get this
yes.
right. Okay.
Okay.
No, not everybody's good. Not everybody's evil. Okay, and sometimes there's blurred lines there. Okay.
Blurred lines. Ask Robin
But
Thicke.
well, I know who my favorite dark character is.
Okay, let's start with
That's
that.
the easier one for you?
Oh, much
Yeah.
easier. Oh, the easiest. The easiest.
I'll start. My favorite dark character from the entire series is Darth Maul.
Really?
I know not many people agree.
A lot of people like him though.
Well, yeah, but I don't think they enjoyed the movie that he was featured in
No,
as
don't,
much.
But he was
but
like the
I-
bright point of episode 1.
Yeah,
I do agree
yeah.
with that.
And I just, gosh, he's just his look. I think that's what does it for me.
No,
his
it's
look.
super cool. Like even to this day, you still see Darth Maul's at like Halloween time and everything.
Yeah,
I actually,
He's very recognizable.
easily.
he is.
So, I mean, most of them are, but even, for being only in one movie, for really not that long, not that many scenes, people still know who he is.
Yeah.
I've bought like the boys a couple lightsabers, and I only have a blue lightsaber, but then I also have like the Darth Maul double red
Okay.
lightsaber. So I found that at like a used toy store. I was like, bought it.
That's cool.
So,
So how about you, Todd?
Okay, my favorite dark character is Vader, easily.
Yeah.
He's not only is he my favorite dark character, he's my favorite character. Period.
Okay.
Because.
So it's Vader, not Anakin.
Well, I mean, no, it's Vader, Darth Vader.
Okay.
I know they're the same person, but they really are two different characters. For
They
the
play
most
different
part.
roles in the series, so I think it's fair to separate them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the transformation from Anakin to Vader I enjoy a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, episode 3 is where I really cemented my legacy. Liking Star Wars. So, and that's really what that movie was about. But yeah, Vader for sure. Just because of the whole anything in the Star Wars universe, video games, the movies, everything that's made me like. I just like him. He's super powerful. He's just the guy.
Yeah. And I have to say, too, Todd, like, you're talking about how they focused on his transformation from Anakin to Darth. I think that while I don't really, I mean, he's an evil dude, but I can understand, why he ended up where he did,
Yeah. Oh, for easily. That's why to me it's like the blurred line of good and evil.
Yeah.
He really didn't
intend for that.
Tend to be evil, but now he felt, he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He lost the love of his life, and he just it just snapped him.
Yeah.
And now he just wants to
take it out on everyone.
Bring that pain to everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. If I can't be happy, nobody will. All right.
I think I kind of have to agree with Todd on that one.
Okay.
I wanted to say someone different and just say General Grievous, but I think it's just because he's like the robot guy. But
yeah.
No, it's got to be Darth Vader. He plays his role so well, and just the dynamic nature of his character it's fun to watch. You watch him go from Anakin to Darth Vader, and then he's redeemed at the end of the series. So I just think that's awesome, and the way they developed that worked very well.
It just, like you said, like the way it ends, it's like it just went full circle. It was like he had the perfect story arc. How it started, and you saw everything, and then how it ended. It just went perfect.
Exactly.
And he was he's easily the most developed character in the entire franchise. The first three, episodes 1 through 3 are basically all about him. And in 4, 5, 6, it's
he's
like
kind of the villain.
Yeah, he's like the main villain, but still one of the main characters. So he's just the guy.
Yeah.
Now I will say, for episode 7, from the get-go, I super liked Kylo Ren.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, I love Kylo Ren, and I think maybe as more films come out, he might outdo Vader for me. But
really?
I love Kylo Ren. Yeah, that first scene when he stops that laser beam, I was just like, shit, got me.
I don't know. I thought Kylo Ren was kind of a whiny brat.
Yeah, I know, I get it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
He kills his dad, so that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, but no, it's listen. This is a special Star Wars episode for the fans of Star Wars. Okay, there's no spoilers here. All right.
Yeah.
You've either seen them or you haven't.
Say it. If you've seen it, say it.
But yeah, I don't know. I didn't like that about him. And then he's like trying to follow in Darth Vader's footsteps, but we already know Darth Vader turns back to the light side at the end of the 6th episode. So.
Right. But how many characters saw that,
That's true, but, I mean, the people around him knew it.
Yeah.
Around Kylo Ren, I mean.
But the dark side is strong.
True.
I just think,
yes.
I'm just looking forward to see how, how that character develops more. And how that, I mean, hey, he could have that same flip at the end.
I'm not saying he's a bad character, I don't think he's going to be my favorite villain.
No.
No, I wouldn't say he's going to be.
He has the potential to be as dynamic as Darth Vader was. So.
And Vader's the only one that's transcended time. Like he's
been in the first 6.
He's been around the block a few times. So.
And the little bit he's in Rogue One is super cool too.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just crazy cool that James Earl Jones is still alive. He can have the original voice of Darth Vader still. Yeah. That was super cool.
Yeah. So, you can't say that about everybody.
No.
So.
It sucks.
Okay, so I'm gonna take back what I said a little bit.
Okay.
I can see why it's hard for you to pick your favorite character on the light side, Todd. But it doesn't change my mind about who I'm gonna pick. But I do understand, you got Yoda, you got I forget what's the admiral in Rogue One.
Admiral Akbar.
Yes, he was great. I don't know why I liked him, but I liked him.
He's good.
But for me, my favorite character is R2, and he was
Your favorite light side character?
yes.
Okay.
I mean, he was in the first 6 movies. He couldn't talk, but he had.
He's been in all 7.
That's true.
Yeah.
8 if you count Rogue One.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he couldn't talk, but he did so well of communicating with everyone just through beeps and
movements and yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, he didn't have like a dynamic part, like I was saying with Darth Vader, but his part was crucial in all of the movies, and I couldn't have imagined those series without him. So
That's
I got
crazy.
a card.
I was going to ask you guys who your favorite droid was.
Oh,
But,
see now. Okay.
First, do your
Yeah, 'cause-
favorite. First, do your favorite good character.
Well,
Well,
mine's not going to be different.
Exactly.
I
So we
know,
know
and
David's
I-
answer for both. So Travis,
my
what do you
answer
got?
for both is also a droid,
Okay.
and he's a fairly new character, and his
Okay.
name is K2SO.
K2SO. Okay.
And I say that because while I really appreciated R2 and C3PO, C3PO at times would be kind of like this whiny, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to run and hide. And K2 is like, I got humor and I'm also badass, so I'm going to take care of business if I have to. So
No, I mean, he was probably, yeah, he was really good character. Super funny. And, God, I can't think of the actor right now.
that plays in
Yes, but he's a super funny guy.
Alan
Tudyk.
Tudyk,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, he's in everything, and he's super funny. Wash from Firefly. So that was super cool to see him get into this franchise. And so yeah, super funny character, perfect character.
Yeah.
Sad, obviously Rogue One, everyone dies, so it's so sad. But
Yeah.
okay, well for me, my favorite droid is BB-8. So
Okay.
as soon as he gave that thumbs up with the lighter, I was like,
That was pretty
love
cool.
ya. Love you.
Love you.
And then
Love you,
you
little
can-
guy.
Love
He's
ya.
portable. He's not
He's
huge.
just like easy. You just can go anywhere and kick him around, whatever.
Play soccer with him
So
if you have
you
to.
said your favorite good character is also K2SO?
So are you wanting me to pick somebody who's not a droid?
No, if
I mean-
that's your favorite good character, that's what David did. I mean, the droids are good for the most part.
It would okay. Yes, droid K2SO is my favorite overall character, but if I had to, my second would be Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is definitely. I don't know, with him and Luke. It was Luke, right? Not Anakin.
Yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi
And Luke, right?
and Anakin. Obi-Wan
And
Kenobi.
Anakin. But he was
He was
younger.
Luke's
When he was
master.
younger,
He
he
was-
was with Luke. No, he was with
No,
Anakin.
when he was younger, he was Anakin's master, and then he was Luke's master just in the episode 4.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What's the
Yoda-
one where
Yoda
they are?
was
Luke's
What's the
master.
one with Obi-Wan
Luke's
where
master.
they're flying around in cars? Is that
is-
Anakin or
Anakin.
Luke?
That's with Anakin. That's episode 2, where he's chasing
Okay,
around.
that's like the Obi-Wan where I really began to like him.
Yeah. Who's the actor?
That plays Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So he'd be my second, if I had to pick somebody that wasn't a droid, I suppose.
Yeah. My favorite good character is probably Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
you're
like
you're
Poe
just sticking
Dameron.
to the script here. You're not really.
Yeah, I mean, I like the whole concept, son and father.
Yeah.
You know, Luke.
You're supposed to like Luke.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, there's
I don't
yeah.
think, do people really not like Luke? I mean,
No.
I know he's not really everyone's favorite, but
He's a likable guy.
he's still the hero. I mean, he gets badass at the end. You know, it's like I love seeing the transformation of just this farm boy to this Jedi Knight. You know, he is good.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. One more category. I'm just throwing this out. Who's the most annoying character?
Oh well, I already said that. I already said
Did
that
you?
earlier. Jar Jar Binks.
Who was it? Okay, yeah, me too. Freaking Jar Jar.
I feel like that's
God.
just the.
Anyways, I digress.
I
But yeah,
digress. We don't
Jar
need to.
Jar.
We don't need to bring him.
We don't even need to
more
go there. We're not
attention.
going to give him the time. Yeah.
So, let's get into something a little bit different then. This is a podcast about board games and the surrounding culture, so I'm going to tie in a little bit of board game culture back into Star Wars. Adrian and I have recently purchased Star Wars Risk. I wanted to play something a little bit more in-depth like X-Wing, but I don't have a ton of time to commit to those sorts of games right now.
And it's a very expensive game to get.
Yeah,
really into.
that's not really an issue. I can find somebody that's got it.
Gotcha.
But I wanted to try it. I tried to get a game of something like that in, but it just didn't happen. So we played Star Wars Risk though, and it's actually a fun game. It's not like the regular Risk. This is you have cards which are like set actions that you're going to take. It's going to be like move a specific type of ship on that card, and you have options between 2 or 3 on each card.
Okay.
And then there's actually 3 battles going on. So there's the battle, there's a shield assault on Endor, and then there's the space battle where the rebels are trying to take out the Death Star. And then there's also the battle within the Death Star where Luke and Darth Vader are sort of going at it. And different cards do different actions within each of those areas. So if you take like a finishing blow, like if you destroy Darth Vader or if you redeem him, you actually get more points. Or if you take out one of the sector's worth of ships, you get bonus actions for that. So typically in a round, you'll pick 3 cards and you'll put those face down, and those will be your 3 actions for that round. But if you get bonus actions, you just stick them at the bottom of that stack, and you'll get to take more actions than your opponent then. So it's kind of asymmetrical. The actions that the Empire has are different than what the Rebels are doing. The Empire has control of the Death Star, and they just roll 2 dice, and they can destroy areas of terrain at a time. And then the Rebels are trying to advance along the shield track to destroy the generator for the Death Star so that they can blow that up. That's how they win the game. The Empire wins by destroying all of the Rebel ships. And I think it's actually hard for the Empire to win, which I'm not sure if that's intentional. It makes sense thematically, but we played 3 games. Adrian was the Empire in 2 of them, and she didn't do very well. So then we switched, and I did better as the Empire. She probably had 4 sectors left when she ended up like blowing up the Death Star on me, but she still won. So, like I said, I don't know if that's intentional or if it's just bad luck. But the game is interesting. It's not like normal Risk. There's still the only real connection there is you're still rolling the 5 dice like you are in Risk.
Okay.
But other than that, it's
So that's
really
the
much a
riskiest part.
completely different
I
game.
got you.
That's the best game.
God.
No, I've heard good things about Star Wars Risk. as being like a really good Risk variant. Some other Star Wars board games that are, I mean, they've been some of the most popular board games that have come out in the last few years. So, Star Wars Rebellion.
Fantasy Flight series of Star Wars games has been
They're huge. Well, I mean, they're the company that owns
the license,
the license. So, yeah, Star Wars Rebellion is a super duper big 2-player game where I've heard people describe it as like Star Wars in a box. Star Wars Imperial Assault is their miniatures, dungeon crawl, skirmish game, which has been on my list of games to get for a long time. So.
Well, I've never even played Risk.
You never even played regular Risk?
And I never knew that a Star Wars variant of it existed, so this is all news to me.
Well, I think that Star Wars Risk just came out maybe a year or two ago.
It came out with
The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's only a couple of years, but
Yeah.
there's some heavy hitters in the gaming world.
Another game that came out with that isn't so much a Star Wars game as just a Star Wars retheming of Lupin Louie, but we got Lupin Chewie as well, which is just Chewie flies around in a little ship and you try to keep him from knocking your stormtroopers off of a platform, but it's silly fun.
Yeah.
Is it a dexterity thing?
Yeah, kinda.
Lupin Chewie?
Yeah. It's like a Hasbro kind of.
It's Hasbro.
Yeah, it's like a.
Oh, Lupin, like Loopin.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was like two characters, one named Loop, the other one Chewie. Loop and Chewie.
Sort of Luke and Chewie.
Luke and Chewie.
Luke and Chewie. Luke Skywalker. Yep.
Anyways. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, see, that'd be something. That's my kind of game. Loop and Chewie.
You can play it in like 5 minutes and
Done.
be done. Bam, bam.
No. So I'm going to, if it's okay with you guys, change gears a little bit more.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard, but they are working on, scheduled to open, as of, still recently, some Star Wars Disney theme parks.
Cool.
Did you guys hear about that?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I have a friend
that's
that's actually, he lives in Orlando, and he's been telling me all about the reconstruction going on in Disney.
Okay. Yeah, so, I just wanted to kind of, provide some insight to you guys and update our fans and all Star Wars fans that are tuning into this episode, but just to kind of let you know what we know so far, but it won't, Star Wars Land, I guess, is kind of the unofficial title we have for it right now, but they're working with legendary Star Wars designers, but they're not going to recreate locations from the movies. They're going to build new stories with this theme park. It's a new planet, it's a new place, but there are going to be familiar, structures and characters and things that you will know and love, but they're trying to make it its own thing. So you're not going there to just relive things we've already seen. They want it to be a new experience. Yeah, exactly. They're going to... It does fit, though, in the universe, so it makes sense. They're saying it fits in with the rest of the universe. And it's still set to open in 2019. There'll be presence of the Resistance and the First Order. You'll be able to visit the Millennium Falcon. I'm sure they'll have a full-size...
That'd be so cool.
It
Just
would be
that
really
right
cool. I know.
Full-size
Millennium Falcon?
Yeah, I mean, that itself would just be super cool.
And then they're talking about having of course, a simulator element where you're responsible for piloting it and stuff. So
That sounds cool.
a lot of droids hanging around, some new, others that you know, and even blue milk. So we can all look forward to that.
I've never been to an Orlando park, so that'd be a cool one to go to.
That would be a good time to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
get to take the kids. Not that they'd understand,
they'd
but
be a little older and
yeah,
they could do the Disney stuff,
yeah, for sure.
My dad.
I think
my
Disney
dad
is
would
kind of
just-
designed for younger kids anyways, so I don't think that's a big issue.
No. So
It might be
awesome.
fun to have them know what Star Wars is before you take them, though, so you can
Yeah, Jackson would probably know by then, and no one else probably will. But so that's cool. So actually, the three of us, picked like the perfect week to record this episode, because earlier this week we had the reveal trailer for episode 8.
Just coincidentally.
The Last Jedi.
Just happened. Hey, there you go. Because of the Star Wars convention celebrating 40 years of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And we also saw the reveal trailer for the new Battlefront 2 video game.
Yeah. And I want to talk about both those when you guys are ready.
So we'll get the video game out of the way, because I feel like the movie's more important.
Okay.
You guys played the first one, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I owned Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, the first one. I liked it. Going into it, I was much more excited about it, and then when it actually got here, it kind of fell short. No campaign mode, just a multiplayer game.
It got repetitive, right? You and I were both in agreement with that, Todd.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I got it, it was already...
Was it like an MMO then?
It was like a first-person shooter.
Okay.
No, it was third person.
Yeah, third-person shooter, but...
But it was all online, right? You're right,
yeah,
Dave,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah. All online, third-person shooter. When I got it, it was already a few months after it released.
Yeah.
So every person I was playing against had like the best gear and everything, and it was just but it wasn't like it was hard, you know.
No. It was a time killer.
Yeah, but it was fun, but it wasn't something I played every day all the time. So I ended up getting rid of it. If I had people to play it with, like Travis, if I knew you had it, I probably would have kept it and played with you. Like, when the second one comes out, it already looks so much better.
It does, yeah.
It spans
the
the entire franchise. They said it has a story mode, so those are already things that knock it up levels for me.
Yeah. So I think, to kind of piggyback off of that, the first one, like you were saying, Todd, it really... People were excited because it was, you got to play as your favorite characters and experience some of the different parts of the story and everything that we'd seen on the big screen. And I didn't find the controls or the physics or anything to be anything great. It was kind of, clunky. But it was fun. Definitely a good time killer. But in this second one, things have changed completely. And just to talk about some of the things that we saw in the trailer, I mean, it opens with, I think it's the second Death Star exploding. Yep. And you get this character, I believe her name is Eden Versio. She is the daughter of an admiral for the Empire. So already we're like, wait a minute. We're playing for these characters that are not on the, quote-unquote good side, right? So we're talking about the bad guys. And so you see her take her helmet off. She's in shock, but she puts it back on like, I got to go back to battle, right? Like, I have a purpose now. I've got to get revenge. And it's just definitely going to be a huge change from thinking that you're just fighting with the classic characters, because now you're following this new protagonist. But we also saw in the trailer, like, you get a little snippet of Yoda. And you see Darth Maul, like, those two getting ready to battle. So there's going to be some really, really cool twists, too, I think, as you go through it.
So I haven't played either of these games, but just hearing what you guys are saying, the first one doesn't sound like something that would interest me. I'm not a big shooter type game person, but a good story always pulls me in, and having that story be Star Wars themed is amazing. But also watching this trailer, the graphics look awesome in this.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It looks like you're actually in the Star Wars universe, exploring these worlds, and there's ships crashing around you and stuff. So it looks exciting, and this is one that I might actually try.
Looks like you get to fly the Millennium Force or the Millennium Falcon too.
Right, that looks super cool. Because in the first one, like, they had certain things most of the time, 90% of the time, you were a stormtrooper or a rebel trooper on the ground, just like we said, third-person shooter. But there were these areas you could go to where you could become like an X-wing pilot, or you could be an AT-AT.
Yeah.
You know, or
Pilot,
certain places you would become one of like either Luke or Vader, and you'd enter in and you'd wreck people.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. So they kind of follow that same style, but adding more. It looks like they've obviously added a lot more characters. So if you could jump into a battle as a Yoda or a Kylo Ren, that'd be really cool.
It would be.
So having the base of a regular Battlefront is good, but just keep adding more and more would be awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be a pre-order for me.
So what did you guys think about the trailer for Episode 8?
Oh. I don't
It's
know
a
what's
teaser.
better.
Yeah,
The
it's just a
trailer or the
teaser.
game. I don't know what I'm more excited about. Yeah. I just know I know it starts off with Rey, and we all know what she was supposed to be getting, right? From Luke at the end of the movie, right?
Or training, yeah.
Training, yeah. And so she's got to become one with the Force. You know?
It makes me wonder how they're going to do this.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it wasn't... So Episode 7 was very close to what Episode 4 was. I'm just wondering if they're going to keep with that format or if they're going to develop the story in a different direction than the original 3 trilogy went.
Right, kind of, yeah. Because, definitely Episode 7 and Episode 4, very similar. Kind of followed the same plot lines, introduce this new character. That character leaves the world that they've always been stuck on and wants to start an adventure. They meet a mentor, teacher dies, yada yada yada. So in the second one we can really get to see if they're just cookie cutter, just the same, storyline as the original, or if they're...
I'll say this. I'm not saying that Episode 7 was bad because it copied Episode 4. Episode 4, in my opinion, was one of the best episodes. I said that earlier. With the Episode 4 through 6 were better than 1 through 3. And I think Episode 7 was good because it copied Episode 4, because it brings a new audience in with those new graphics and that updated storyline. So I'm not saying that's bad. It just makes me wonder, is Episode 8 going to be a remake of Episode 5?
Right.
It wouldn't be horrible if it was, but...
I would like to see them switch something up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have a theory of what's going to happen, but I don't,
I do, but I don't.
I do, but I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe I'll tell you guys when we're done.
Okay.
Our listeners can try to comment and drag it out of you.
Maybe.
I think I interrupted your thoughts about Episode 7 there.
No,
Yeah.
I was literally going to say exactly what you said. Just, I want to know if they're going to just follow that same thing, Episode 8, and it would be like Episode 5, or if they just change something up. Hopefully they do.
Okay.
Well, I know at the end of what we see in the trailer, you've got Luke saying, like, the Jedi need to end.
I know, and that's...
Which is like, everybody's like, okay, well, then now what? Right? It's like, where do you go from there?
I think that may be intentionally out of context. This is just a teaser trailer, so I think they're trying to make us guess everything we know about Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah, they definitely are. But why would he be saying that is my thing.
Again, like Todd just said, I have my guesses, but I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay. Well, we know R2's in it. So we
That's
saw
all
him,
that-
so
and
that's all
BB-8.
that matters. And BB-8.
I mean, even just the teaser, it doesn't really tell you anything
No.
except what we've already talked about, but
Yeah.
it still looks awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes me want more Star Wars.
Yep.
And they'll give us another at least 8, I'm sure.
I think they're scheduled to go through 9, aren't they?
9 episodes, and then they have
There could be other stories off of that.
opposite. They plan on releasing a Star Wars movie every year for the foreseeable future.
Right.
See, now that... Okay, let me just talk about that. Because I think part of the draw to this is that they don't come out like clockwork.
Right.
They leave people like, oh my... I mean, you get pumped up, you wait 2 or 3, 4 years, and then boom, one comes out. I feel like it's kind of like they're doing the same thing with superhero movies, which, I mean, I like them as entertainment, but I just feel like if we're gonna do this every year, like, are you just, what are you doing? I don't know.
Right.
That's just my own personal feelings on that.
And it makes it to where
Well, they're making money.
Well,
Yeah, they're making bank, dude. They're making so much money. It is. I would never stop. You know, just like with Fast and the Furious, like, you know, you just watched it the other day. Those movies are good, you know, and it's just money makers.
It is.
As long as
Yeah.
people are going to keep going to see them.
Or Star Wars
They're
is
gonna keep making
great.
them. Yeah.
Star Wars is great.
It is.
It's printing money.
It
now
is.
Now that Disney's in charge of it, and I mean, Disney is our lives is like one of the top companies of our generation. Like everything we've ever loved comes from Disney. Okay? And now they own Star Wars and Marvel. And it's just they're the best.
Crazy.
I don't know. A lot of what I've always loved has come from Oreo. I can't give Disney all the credit.
Did you say Oreo?
Oreos. Yeah.
Tomorrow Disney's gonna come out with a cookie. It's gonna
Disney
blow.
buys Oreo. Disney acquires Oreo. It's like,
because
what?
Travis said this. Disney acquires Oreo. Nabisco.
Nabisco.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, gosh.
They're working on it right now.
They're working
They are.
on it.
Yeah.
He's like,
They're
how the hell
listening
did he?
in.
They're like, how the hell did he know? This has been under wraps for months.
This guy loves Oreos. We must have them.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're kind of winding down here a little bit. You know, there's a lot in the Star Wars universe and a lot to be excited about.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to kind of wrap things up by taking a quick look back. And I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite movie of the 8 that have been released now?
Todd, I'll let you take it away.
God, it's
So
tough.
that's a hard choice.
It's tough. I know it's between 2 for me. It's between 7 and 6.
Okay.
I really liked 7. It had been so long since Star Wars. It was 10 years in between episodes when episode 3 released and episode 7 came out. But the gap of the story, I think, was just the largest gap. And because it is literally, you don't know what was going to happen. You know, episodes 4, 5, 6 came out, and you watched them, and by the time I had watched them and understood them, I had already known what was going to happen. You know, the iconic line, "Luke, I am your father." You knew that already going into it. That's how popular it was. You just known about it. So there was the people who watched it for the first time, who may have expected it, but still finally getting it, was that huge, like, oh my God, plot twist. But for us, it was ruined. We knew what was going on. And then when episodes 1, 2, and 3 came out, you knew what they were. You knew they were following Anakin, who was going to be Vader. So you knew what was going to happen there as well. So 7 and beyond is all new territory for everyone. So just that excitement.
And by 7, you're talking about The Force Awakens.
Yes, episode 7.
Okay.
Yeah, The Force Awakens. The new characters, the new story, but with the old characters too, which is super awesome.
Yeah.
So it has a mixture of everything. So I'm pretty sure episode 7 is my favorite. And it's the newest movie, it has the best graphics. yada yada yada. All this cinematic stuff as well is super awesome. So that's my favorite.
I can
Okay.
understand that. That makes sense. What about you, Travis?
It'd be a tie between. I just really enjoy Luke, and I love following his story. Episode 5 and 6, Empire Strikes Back, probably would take the edge there. I just really enjoyed that one the most. I thought it was cool seeing Anakin too, but I definitely think The Empire Strikes Back is my all-time favorite. I mean, I love when, it's almost like you see the rebels have been, like, just destroyed, and now you've got Luke, who is taking advantage of this training that he's just got, or he's becoming more and more comfortable with, and just to have the Jedis kick butt. I don't know. With Yoda, I mean, you just can't beat it. Yeah. So, I just really like that one.
So episode 5 takes it for you?
5, I'll stick to 5. Yeah, The Empire Strikes Back.
I am gonna agree with you. 5 is my favorite episode as well. The training stuff with Yoda was a lot of fun, and the conflict, the internal conflict with Luke, adds a little bit of a twist to the story that was fun to watch. So episode 5 was my favorite, and that was part of the reason that I was wondering if they're going to mimic that one in episode 8. I kind of hope they don't, but I'd like for them to make something that beats episode 5 for me. So.
Right. Well, we already know they're kind of doing like that. It's like the training episode. Right. So.
And that's fine. I think they can do that and still make it a different movie.
Yeah. What they do after that part of the plot's over, what they do after that, is really going to be key. I think.
Yeah.
And with episode 5, when episode 4 came out, just Star Wars, A New Hope, it was just this brand new thing. No one knew what was going to happen, how big it was going to be, and everything. So with episode 5, they knew they had to, build upon in such a big way. They got a bigger budget and everything, so they could really just open up the floodgates of, let's pump as much as we can into this now, because we got something here. And it could be huge, and obviously it's become huge.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys a question. In my opinion, this is the greatest cinematic story of all time. I don't know what could beat it.
About Star Wars in general?
Just the greatest cinematic story of all time. Spanned over 50 years, all these movies, just this huge story, super deep, great characters. I have no idea what could beat it.
So I'm not going to argue with you because I can't think of anything specific right now that would beat it. But I think that the holes that happen in episode 1 through 3 that a lot of people just didn't like, I think that might drag it down a little bit. But it's definitely up there. It's definitely one of the greatest cinematic experiences, if not.
That's true. Yeah.
It's the greatest.
Well, where there aren't any holes.
What?
Fast and the Furious.
Oh my God. No
One of the
holes.
greatest cinematic experiences of all time. I mean, I think we're going to see Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel racing for each other's hover-round scooters before it's over, when they're in their 70s and 80s.
They don't like each other in real life.
Oh, I know. I've heard that.
So.
But, I don't know. We'll see. I agree.
Star Wars creates a family, okay? Everyone loves each other, okay? Fast and Furious promotes hatred.
No, I agree. I can't think of another. I mean, I went to my first ever release of a Star Wars film, like opening night, and it was Rogue One, and like you get there and you can just feel comfortable, like you have something in common that you can talk to these people about. People are dressing up like the characters. You're not gonna go to a Fast and the Furious opening night and have people dressed up like
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel. I mean, you might, but I don't think that's what they were going for. But I mean, it does. It creates a community. It's a huge millions and millions of people like follow it, either for the characters or the games or whatever. I mean, there's just so many different facets.
It's hard to
amazing.
go anywhere or meet anyone who doesn't know something about this.
Yeah, I
You've
agree.
seen the characters, you've heard the lines, you know something about it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
All right. I think that's pretty much it for tonight. So thanks for listening, and I'll let Travis take us away.
As always, we'd love for you to share your favorite Star Wars memories with us at D6Pack Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And remember, D6Pack is not affiliated with any products discussed during this podcast, and all opinions are those of the creators.